Hi, this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we'll be taking a look at ThermalTake's Argent M5 RGB corded mouse. Keep watching to find out more. Okay, so in today's video we'll be taking a look at ThermalTake's Argent M5 addressable RGB mouse. This mouse at the moment retails in the UK for in the region of about £60, so certainly not a cheap mouse, but it certainly has the specs to back up that pricing. So at the moment we are looking at Omron switches all round, also up to 50G acceleration, 400 inches per second tracking rates, and it's all backed up with a Pixart 3389 sensor. So as it goes, spec-wise, yeah, it looks like it ticks all the boxes. Now for me personally, it ticks more than one box because this is a ambidextrous mouse. So if you're a lefty, like myself, or a righty, then this is going to be absolutely perfect for you either way. It has a really nice layout of buttons with the back and forward buttons on both sides. So again, if you're a lefty and you're used to using the back and forward buttons on the left hand side, then you're absolutely fine. If you want to use it on the right, you can do. It's also got 8 programmable buttons, so you can really get to task with it and configure it how you want to. Obviously also macros and all those kinds of things are included, and also full control of the RGB in Thermaltake's ITake software. So let's go through, do an unboxing, give it some practical tests and come back with my final thoughts. So starting with the packaging, as you can see, pretty much the usual deal from Thermaltake, really nice packaging, and this one has all the specs on the front, so TT Sync, RGB+, also you've got voice control through the ITake software, also it supports fully Razer Chroma software, and you can also use it with your Amazon Assistant, which may suit or may not. Opening up the packaging, you can see inside, you get a really nice packaging presentation, so you've got a picture of the mouse there, etc., and the mouse itself. Overall, yeah, really great packaging, pretty much does what it says on the tin. On the back it goes into some more of the specifications, so we'll give you a close-up of that so you can see the details, but we've pretty much drilled through those already. But essentially, yeah, 50 million click Omron switches, Pixart 3389 sensor. Yeah, it is a pretty decent spec mouse. So taking a look at what we actually get inside the packaging. So you get obviously the mouse itself, and as you can see, this looks really, really nice. It has actually got a detachable USB cable. So again, pretty cool. And the cable itself is all braided and gold plated connectors. So that's really nice. The mouse itself is not particularly lightweight. This one comes in at just under 100 grams. So certainly has a little bit of weight to it, but I actually think it feels really nice. And surprisingly, because of the kind of carbonate or plastic construction on the top, it actually does feel quite lightweight. It doesn't have any kind of heavy spots. It does feel actually particularly well balanced. Moving on to what else we get inside the kit, we get a Thermaltake bag, so you can put your mouse into a carry bag, put it into your briefcase or your bag, whatever, and take it to your gaming events. Also included, as per usual, you get the instruction manual and also warranty policies, and also a couple of Thermaltake stickers should you wish to use them. So taking a closer look at the mouse, so let's go round from side to side. So on the left hand side, first of all, you've got the traditional back and forward buttons. Again, you can program them to whatever you want to. Moving around to the back, you've got the Thermaltake logo, which lights up in RGB, which possibly you've seen from B-roll already. On the other side, again, another 2 buttons, which is always a welcome addition. More buttons, the better. And on the top, we've got a nice clicky left and right mouse button. And also there is a central button which defaults to being the DPI switching mode. Now you can switch between 5 pre-programmed DPI modes, starting at around about 400 DPI and going all the way up to a whopping 1600 DPI. For me personally, I'm kind of around the 1600 mark. That seems to work very well for my kind of style of mouse use, gameplay, etc. And actually I have found this to be extremely accurate. Playing some gaming today in CSGO, I did find I was getting rather more kills than I normally would do. So if you're possibly looking at improving your gameplay, this is definitely worth a look. A lot of people will spend tons and tons of money on the latest processor and the latest graphics card, but often overlook the most important thing, and that is the link between you and the computer. On the bottom of the mouse, we've got some RGB LEDs around the outside edge, which are really nicely diffused. And also you've got 2 skate pads there, which are in actually pretty decent places, and it does travel very well on both matte surfaces and also just on a bare desktop, such as this one. It does seem to want to move around quite nicely, and has got a little bit of a slide to it. The sensor itself is placed pretty much slap bang in the middle, which is always a good thing to see, especially on an ambidextrous mouse. Now, if you want to take full advantage of this mouse and actually have as limited a drag on the desk as possible, then you can also team it up with the ThermalTake MB1, which is their mouse bungee. This pretty much is the ultimate accessory. Now, it's not overly cheap. You're looking around about 20 to 30 pounds for this. But for those of you that do find that your mouse cable drags on the surfaces a little bit, then this is possibly worth an upgrade. Or for those of you that are just really flash and like to have tons and tons of RGB, this has got you covered. As you can see, it has got a RGB underglow, and also the ThermalTake LED lights up as well. So again, it's one of those extra features which is really nice to have on your desktop and make it look really, really swish. In the box for the actual bungee itself, you get a USB Type A to USB Type A cable, and that one is approximately 2 meters long, as is the cable that comes with the mouse. And we get the mouse bungee itself, which is finished in this really nice kind of anodized silver finish, which I actually really do appreciate. It's got a non-slip rubber base on the bottom as well, and you can see there is a halo there of RGB. On the back, you've got the USB Type A connection, which is only for use with this cable, so it is a special cable to Thermaltake, so don't be grabbing any old USB A to A cable, it simply will not work. In the top, we've got a silicone top, so all you do is put your mouse cable in there, and that basically stops it from pulling down to the back of your desk, etc., that kind of thing. So you'd put it on your desk in relatively close approximation to your mouse itself, have the cable running through, and basically it will ideally stop it from scagging on desk surfaces and the strain of the actual cable going down the back of your desk. Also keeps things looking nice and tidy, and of course has RGB. To get the mouse bungee up and running, all we do is plug in our USB cable into the back, and there we go. As you can see, it lights up. You've got that halo on the bottom. The software is just recognizing it, which I have pre-installed into the system already, and as you can see, it's changed the RGB. So that is that part done. You can see there's a really nice halo around that. Next thing to do is to connect up the mouse. Now the mouse braided cable does have a elastic strap on there as well, to keep things nice and tidy should you wish to. And again, all you need to do is find a USB port, plug it in, plug in the other end into your mouse, and that is pretty much it. You're off to the races. Now obviously, depending where you've got this set up on your desk, you can put in your cable into the mouse bungee just to keep it all nice and secure, and then you can cable manage your cables out of the way. Obviously, on this particular instance, on my laptop, it's not the simplest of things to do, but on a desktop, you can have that so then your wires will trade down the back of your desk. So now with our mouse and bungee set up, as you can see, the cord is not basically touching the surface, so just one of those extra things which won't drag. Again, mouse bungees for some people will be seen as somewhat of a gimmick, but in certain instances, when you've got your desk set up in certain ways, especially if you're using maybe an older style wooden desk, that kind of thing, these kind of braided cables will scag. So for those of you that do need one, definitely worth getting, especially to pair it with this. So as you can see at the moment, the RGB between the two is completely different. So let's rectify that straight away in the ITake software. So installing the software, very easy to do, just download it from the ThermalTake site, and once it's installed, you'll see your devices appear actually in the different menus. So at the top here, we've got mouse, and also we've got mouse bungee. And we can go in and choose different effects. So let's go with the spiral rainbow, because we do like a bit of RGB. Hit apply, and then the changes will be seen actually on the device. Also, you can go through, you can change the effects. So you've got static, pulse, blink, RGB spectrum, raindrops, snake, music mode, and temp. So if we go for temperature, this will show you the temperature of your system. Again, for gaming people, if you're worried about your system overheating in those prolonged gaming adventures and you don't want to be snapping out into hardware monitor to see what's going on with your system, you can actually quite easily keep an eye on your system just from the color of the RGB on the bungee and also the mouse. Heading over into the mouse profile, so you've got all sorts of things you can do in here. You can program the buttons, etc. So you've got up to 10 different options there for left clicks, right clicks, etc. So you can set those however you want to. And also you've got key assignments to particular buttons. Obviously you've got things like macro, so you can set up a macro. And also we've got the lighting section. So in lighting, all we need to do is go into sync all areas, and that will synchronize the mouse wheel button, the Thermaltake logo on the back, and also the underglow as well. And then you can choose your particular color. So again, you can choose static if you want to. You can do temperature, so hit apply and it will change. So you can set the temperatures. 40 degrees is the blue, and it goes up through in different RGB colors. Again, you can change those if you wanted to. We'll go with the wave effect. So hit apply, and then we go into our RGB wave effect. So now the two are pretty much matching. You can change your RGB patterns in the pattern section, and you can create your own custom patterns if you've got a particular lighting style that you like. So we'll apply that. Yep, as you can see, looks very nice. Plenty of unicorn puke there. If we go into the performance tab, then here we can do things like change the settings for the actual sensor. So as you can see, DPI 1 there, we've got set to 1600 DPI. DPI 2 is also 16, and we've got 34, 64, 1200 and 1600 DPI again. Also, you've got things like angle sharpening, that sort of thing, and you can change the XY axes, button response times, and also the polling rate. So currently it's defaulted to 125 Hz for polling rate, so we can change that to 1000 Hz to get really snappy response times. You can as well set these into individual profiles, which you can save, etc. And once it's all applied, there is actually onboard memory on the mouse, so you can actually set it up maybe on your desktop computer, and then if you're going away, maybe using your laptop, the settings will be stored actually in the mouse itself, so you can just plug it into another device and it will memorize what it was doing previously, which is awesome. So that's all well and good. It looks very nice. It feels exceptionally nice. I really do like the size and shape of this mouse. The knurled wheel on the front there actually does feel really precise, and there's a really defined click between each roll of the mouse. So that is for me absolutely perfect. I really do like that knurled effect as well. I think it looks really, really nice. The buttons and the layout, the ambidextrous design, I personally do prefer. Obviously being a lefty, it's very difficult to get a mouse which feels neutral and also can be used by others in the family as well. You can get specific left-handed mice, but then if someone with the right hand tries to use it, yeah, they get very uncomfortable very quickly. So let's see how accurate this thing is, and we're currently set to 1600 DPI, and we'll go over to the mouse accuracy test, which we do like to do, and we'll give that a try. So this is the 60-second test, and let's just see how well we do. Yeah, this is very, very accurate. I'm not particularly accurate, and doing this filmed onto a video, doing it live is probably not the best way of doing it when you're concentrating on numerous things. But the control is excellent. I really do like it. It feels very smooth, and I've only been using this for a couple of hours now, and actually I am getting used to it quite quickly. Again, in CSGO, I had a few rounds of that earlier, and I did find that my hits were much better, my averages were good. So for gaming purposes, it's excellent. Also, we've used this a little bit in Adobe Premiere, and that was really nice, scrubbing along the timeline, doing fine adjustments, that sort of thing. It was absolutely brilliant. So it doesn't matter if you're not a gamer, maybe you just need the precision in your daily work, then this is going to be great. Even for things like Excel spreadsheets, this is going to be awesome. And it's great because I don't really have to think about what my hand's doing too much. It just feels really natural, really neutral. Again, you could change the settings to move across the screen a little bit quicker. And there we go. So there's our scores. Be interested to see what your scores are with your favorite mouse. Again, we're doing this live in a video. I'm just showing you how accurate it can be. For those of you that watched the video on the cheapest wireless mouse on Amazon, you can see that was a real struggle. I was really having to just control my hand more than I would like to. With some cheap mice, you do get that feeling where you're really kind of trying to aim for something. Whereas with this, the Pixart 3389 sensor is absolutely brilliant. It tracks extremely well. The mouse, very, very smooth, glides around, and even for the smallest of tiny movements, fractional movements, it just works really, really well. Again, if you're doing those really small, minute movements, again in things like Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, even in spreadsheets where you're clicking on very small little cells, then this is really going to be helpful. So if you're a gamer and a worker on your PC, definitely worth a look. Now there is actually also a wireless version of this available, which obviously then you won't need the bungee for. So roughly about the same price. If you take into account the price of the bungee and the mouse itself, we're looking around about £20 to £30 for the bungee, about £60 here in the UK for the mouse, and if you go for the wireless version, then you're looking around about £90. We will be doing a review on that coming up, so don't forget to stay tuned, and obviously click on the subscribe button and chime icon, and you'll be notified of future video releases. So overall, what do I think? Absolutely brilliant. I was very hesitant about this mouse, I'll be completely honest with you. I looked at it initially and I thought the shape looked a little bit odd, but the more I use it, the more I'm getting used to it, and actually the shape and the style is really growing on me. I thought that the mouse wheel was a little bit too far forward for my particular grip style, but actually after a little bit of use, very, very easy to get used to. The actual indentations on the wheel are an absolute highlight, so you don't find yourself kind of over scrolling or changing weapons incorrectly in games, which is always a benefit. You don't want to turn it to a gunfight with a knife, as they say. But overall, yeah, I think it's absolutely great. The software, I would have liked to have seen more integration with other manufacturers. That was something we would definitely like to see going forward. Of course, if your RGB is your life, you can use things like OpenRGB and you can tailor it to your own expectations and also coordinations without having to use individual software from MSI, ASUS, ThermalTake, etc. So that is definitely an option should you wish to. So overall, yeah, very impressed. And if I was to give it a rating, I would say it's got to be a good 8 out of 10. The only things I would say that go slightly against it is possibly the pricing. £60 for a mouse isn't particularly cheap, but you do get a lot of features. And I guess if anything, I would have liked the mouse wheel to be slightly higher. But again, that is a very, very minor gripe. And this is almost perfect. I've got to be honest with you. There's not any mouses that I've used previously, which I would say are significantly better than it in any way, shape or form. But that's just my opinion, and I would love to know what your opinion is. So do let us know in the comment section what you think personally. Is this the sort of thing you would pick up yourself? Are you a mouse bungee lover, or is it something you see as an unnecessary desktop icon? Let me know in the comment section below. So anyway, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.